Okay, this is going to be a day 7 supplemental, which, I mean, is absolutely necessary. Um, and we're actually talking about right now after the 11 a.m. Sleep phase. I was successfully able to wake up from the 11 a.m. sleep phase, and I actually woke up before the alarm went off. Okay, number one. That's a sign of a good wake up. I mean, you wake up before the alarm goes off. Your sleeps, you went through the sleep cycle, it ended, and you woke up. I mean, that's killer. That's like perfect. Okay, so great. So I remember getting up, all right, um, and, starting my morning procedures, going through that. Um, I felt the boogeyman starting up, and so once I was awake and everything, I mean, starting with my day, I could tell the boogeyman was getting stronger, and that I could, I knew something had to be done about that. So I know I went to the bathroom, washed my face, enjoyed that, dried my face, sat back down, and I could tell the boogeyman was getting a lot stronger. It was just like ramping up. It was ramping up, and so I knew I had to deal with it. So I went outside and I took a walk. Walked around the block. Okay, felt better. Sat down and realized that I'm going to need to do something to keep the boogeyman away. To give it a big effort. So I decided to engage in an active be active in active activity, not reading, not not just passive, but be active. And as I'm engaging in this activity, I have the last memory I have is of nodding off, where the sleep, uh, that boogeyman is actually knocking me out. I mean, I remember just that wave of sleep coming over me, and I realized that what I'm doing is not working. I didn't have any warning of it though. I mean, it's like almost like a wave. You get hit by a wave that you didn't even see. Okay. And the last thing you remember is being tumbled in that wave, and you see a flash of what you were looking at, and then realizing, I mean, I had the thought, oh my gosh, I'm nodding off. I can't believe this. How'd this happen? And then nothing. There's no more memory after that. That was like the if my brain was a film recorder, like a found footage. I mean, you just see this flash across the screen and having the thought, and then that's it. You don't see anything anymore. Okay, now this is happening, prior as after the 11 a.m. successfully waking up from the 11 a.m. phase, and going out for a walk, and attempting some sort of online um, activity and to be active. So it's so that I would remain awake, and then just having this blur, like being hit by a wave I never saw, and then just out. Um, when I woke up, this is how I knew there was oversleep, because I woke up, my hat was on one side of the room, my glasses were on another side of the room. Um, half gallon of water, or I guess a gallon, sorry, a gallon of water was spilled, knocked over, and spilled over the carpet. And I don't know how that happened. All that happened. How my hat went one way, my glasses went the other. Then there was a spill. It just was like, bam, just knocked out. And I woke up to the alarm. And based on witness testimony, I was. It took a while for me to hear the alarm, but it was within the first few minutes of when I should have awoken from the 3 p.m. sleep phase. Okay, so I never officially went to sleep for the 3 p.m. sleep phase, and I woke up like just after the time I should have from that phase. Okay, so um, I'm going to estimate that the amount of sleep loss here is going to be 2 hours, and I hope, I mean, that the alarm was what woke me up. I mean, the timing of it is close enough to the what the wake up alarm would have been, um, for that 3 p.m. for the 3 p.m. waking phase, which would be like 3:30 p.m. And I remember, I mean, I woke up like 3:32, 3:31, somewhere in that like right low 3:30s. And I looked at it and I identified that with the 3 p.m. wake up phase because that's the time that you would expect to see when you wake up from the 3 p.m. nap. Okay, but the problem is I never actually went to sleep on the 3 p.m. nap, but yet I was waking up from it. So that when you only have one half of the equation, something is wrong in the middle. So that's what we've got. And so number one, the remedy for this is to pretend like it never happened. Okay, keep right on going. Um, okay, that's definitely what I'm doing. There is, yeah, the special forces boogeyman has a strong force that is. If I had any warning, I would have got up again and took another walk. Um, so this is it. So now the goal is to really look for that red alert boogeyman. Okay, last time we encountered it was on this sleep phase, was on the same in the same sleep phase, and I was knocked out for 1.75 hours. Um, but it was on day 5. Now the funny thing is, the way it ran this as far as this sleep phase, this 3 p.m. sleep phase, the record of it runs normal sleep, normal sleep. I ended up sleeping sitting up. I had a vivid REM dream. That was the very first vivid REM dream. That's on day 4. Then I ran into that strong boogeyman that assaulted me. That's day 5. Then I had euphoria, just felt on top of the world. That's day 6. And now I'm having this boogeyman again, this same assaulting boogeyman, and this is day 7. So this phase is like mixed, and I don't know that there's really a pattern to it per se, but there's just too little. There's only 7 days of data, so there's just not enough to really tell what exactly is going on here. Um, all I can do is look for it, use my instinct to look for it, so I know what I'm dealing with. I know that this is going to be outside of the normal procedures for the boogeyman. Um, that's pretty much what it's going to be. I mean, I have to identify it before, and I did. I remember feeling, the way that it came on, the heaviness, and getting way out ahead of it. I mean, I knew, hey, the way this is feeling right now, the way this is approaching, how my state is being, it's almost like the tides is coming in, and I can feel that water coming in, and I know that it's going to get deeper, and advance farther, and each tide is going to get worse, and then my consciousness is going down, because it's this boogeyman is advancing. So I saw that, and I got up. I mean, I said, I'm getting out way ahead of this. I'm not going to wait for it to hit me because I know it's going to hit me. All right, so I got up and I took a walk, came in, sat back down, started doing something, and got over just like the tidal wave hit me, and there was no warning that it was going to hit me. It was just I remember having this one mental vision segment where I was looking at the screen, and I can tell I was being at that time I was being overcome with the boogeyman. The boogeyman was washing over me. That tidal wave was washing over me. I saw one mental image of me registering it, and that was the last thing that I have. So literally just knocked out. And then we have spilled water. We have my hat going to one side of the room, my glasses going to another side of the room, and being out for the rest of that sleep phase. I'm going to call it, 2 hours of missed sleep, and that's the best I can do. When I get that level of boogeyman, I mean ahead of time when it's degrading, the state of consciousness is degrading that strongly, that badly, and that forcefully, where I can tell it's just going south. I may need to have a greater level of caution. Exactly how bad is the boogeyman there? You know, because the second walk is going to be necessary. Now I know I've done that before too. In the previous attempt, I had to do a second walk and within a single phase. Um, but this one just overcame me. I mean, it's just there was no will involved. I mean, I just basically was overcome without knowing it was happening, and just looking around like in the middle of the water, being tumbled around and looking up and saying, "Dang, I'm being overcome," and then that was it. That's it. So, I mean, that's it. Um, Nothing more to do except try to identify it in the future when it's coming, and be more vigilant, I guess, in advance. That's about what I'm left to. And treat it as if it never happened. Keep going. Okay, and absolutely, because I've got an established sleep phase pattern here. This boogeyman is not going down easily, though. Um, I'm definitely on the road to adaptation. Adaptation is not a word according to the internet, although my spell check thinks it's a word. So I don't know. Google doesn't think so, but spell check does. Don't ask me. But yep. Okay. So it's 20. Yeah, it's 4:26 right now. I woke up around 3:30. Okay, so I've got to finish out this sleep phase. Uh, go to sleep normally for the 7 p.m. Wake up, see how it's going. Um, so hopefully I can finish out this day 7 uneventfully. Hopefully I'll be able to get to sleep for the 7 p.m. sleep phase. If so, that's going to minimize the damage. It's going to cauterize this wound and minimize this damage, and then continue to collect sleep phases from there. Um, and if there's anything else to report, I'll do in the sleep day 7. I'll do a regular day 7 summary. This is day 7 summary. And then the next report is going to be day 8. And again, the goal here is to cauterize this wound. Do not let it turn into an infection, and isolate it. and move forward. And this is the worst sleep event in the entire 7 days. Um, it it damaged the adaptation process because it crashed through a the ending of a sleep phase, the 3 p.m. I never actually went to sleep for the 3 p.m. sleep phase, but I woke up from it. So that is injury to the process right there. Um, okay, so again, the solution is to pretend like it never happened. Push forward, cauterize. Okay, so that is what's going to save this process. That's what's going to allow me to adapt. Um, that's what we're going to do. So hopefully, the next one you see is going to be a day 8, and no day 8 supplemental, day 8. So, all right, here we go. That's the full documentation. Talk to you soon.